Hello, Winooski, 4th grade. I thought we would read our story outside on this rainy afternoon. I actually kind of love reading stories in the rain, listening to the sound of it. All right, friends, our story is Fortunately the Milk by Neil Gaiman. The Nicholsons are out of milk, and Father has gone off on an epic journey to the corner store to get some more milk. And last week he was abducted by aliens, and he has just jumped out of the spaceship. I was falling. Fortunately, I had kept a tight hold of the milk, so when I splashed into the sea, I didn't lose it.
What was that?
Said a woman's voice.
A big fish, a mermaid, or was it a spy?
I wanted to say I wasn't any of those things, but my mouth was full of seawater. I felt myself being hauled up onto the deck of a little ship. There were a number of men and women on the deck. They all looked very cross.
"Who be ye, landlubber?"
said the woman, who had a big hat on her head and a parrot on her shoulder.
"He's a spy, a walrus in a coat, a new kind of mermaid with legs,"
said the men.
"What are you doing here?"
asked the woman. Well, I said, I just sent out to the corner store for some milk for my children's breakfast and for my tea, and the next thing I knew...
"He's lying, your majesty."
She pulled out her cutlass.
"You dare lie to the queen of pirates."
Fortunately, I'd kept a tight hold of the milk, and now I pointed at it. If I did not go to the corner shop to fetch this milk, I asked them, then where did this milk come from? At this point, the pirates were completely speechless. Now, I said, if you could let me off somewhere near to my destination, I would be much obliged to you.
"And where would that happen to be?"
said the Queen of Pirates. "Oh, on the corner of Marshall Road and Fletcher Lane," I said. "My children are waiting there for their breakfast."
"You're on a pirate ship now, my fine bucko," said the Pirate Queen, "and you don't get dropped off anywhere. There are only two choices. You can join my pirate crew or refuse to join, and we will slit your cowardly throat, and you will go to the bottom of the sea, where you will feed the fishes."
"What about walking the plank?" I asked.
"Never heard of it," said the pirates.
"Walking the plank," I said, "is what proper pirates do. Look, I'll show you. Do you have a plank somewhere?" I took some looking, but we found a plank, and I showed the pirates where to put it. We discussed nailing it down, but the Pirate Queen decided it was safer just to have the two fattest pirates sit on the end of it.
Why exactly do you want to walk the plank?"
asked the Pirate Queen. I edged out onto the plank. The blue Caribbean water splashed gently beneath me. "Well," I said, "I've seen lots of stories with pirates in them, and it seems to me that if I'm going to be rescued..." At this, the pirates started to laugh so hard their stomachs wobbled, and the parrot took off into the air with amazement.
"Rescue," they said. "There's no rescue here. We're in the middle of the sea."
Nevertheless, I told them, if you are going to be rescued, it will always be while walking the plank.
"Which we don't do," said the Pirate Queen. "Here, have a Spanish doubloon, and come and join us in our piratical adventures. It's the 18th century," she added, "and there's always room for a bright, enthusiastic pirate." I caught the doubloon. "I almost wish I could," I told her, "but I have children, and they need their breakfast." "Then you must die. Walk the plank." I edged out to the end of the plank. Sharks were circling, so were piranhas, and this was where... I interrupted my dad for the first time. "Hang on," I said. "Piranhas are a freshwater fish. What were they doing in the sea?" "Oh, you're right," said my father. "The piranhas came later. Oh, so... I was out at the end of the plank, facing certain death, when a rope ladder hit my shoulder, and a deep, booming sound shouted, 'Quickly! Climb up the rope ladder!'
I needed no more encouragement than this, and I grabbed the rope ladder with both hands. Fortunately, the milk was pushed deep into the pocket of my coat. The pirates hurled insults at me, and even discharged pistols, but neither insult nor pistol shot found their target, and I soon made it to the top of the rope ladder. I'd never been in the basket of a hot air balloon before. It was very peaceful up there. The person in the balloon basket said,
"I hope you don't mind helping, but it looked like you were having some problems down there."
I said, "You're a stegosaurus."
"I am an inventor," he said. "I have invented the thing we are traveling in, which I call Professor Steg's floaty ball person carrier."
I call it a balloon," I said.
"Professor Steg's floaty ball person carrier is the original name," he said. "And right now we are 150 million years in the future."
"Actually," I said, "we are about 300 years in the past."
"Do you like hard, hairy, wet, white crunchers?" he asked.
"You mean coconuts?" I guessed.
"I named them first,"
said Professor Steg. He picked up a coconut from the basket and ate it, shell and all, just as you and I might crunch toast. He showed me his time machine. He was very proud of it. It was a large cardboard box with several pebbles on it, and stones stuck to the side. There was also a large red button. I looked at the stones. "Hang on," I said. "Those are diamonds and sapphires and rubies."
"Actually," he said, "I call them special shiny clear stones, special shiny bluey stones, and,
Special shiny red stones," I suggested.
"Indeed," he said. "I called them that when I was inventing my really good moves around in time machine 150 million years ago."
"Well," I told him, "it was very lucky for me that you turned up when you did and rescued me. I am slightly lost in space and time right now, and need to get home in order to make sure my children get milk for their breakfast." I showed it to him. "This is the milk, although I expect that 150 million years ago you called it wet, white, drinky stuff."
"Dinosaurs are reptiles, sir," said
Professor Steg.
"We do not go in for milk."
Do you go in for breakfast cereal?" I asked.
"Of course," he said. "Dinosaurs love breakfast cereal, especially the kind with nuts in it."
"What do you have on your breakfast cereal?" I asked.
"Orange juice mostly, or we just eat it dry, but I shall put this in my book. In the distant future, small mammals put milk on their breakfast cereal. I shall write a wonderful book when I return to the present."
"Actually," I said, "I think this is definitely the past. It has pirates in it."
"It's the future," he said. "All the dinosaurs have gone off to the stars, leaving the world to mammals."
"I wondered where you all went," I said.
"The stars," he told me. "That is where we will have gone."
"So," I said, "can you take me home?"
"Well," he said, "yes and, also no."
"What does that mean?"
"Yes, I would love to take you home. Nothing would make me happier. No, I cannot take you home. In all honesty, I do not believe I can take me home. My time machine is being temperamental. I need a special shiny greeny stone. I have pressed that button many times, but nothing happens."
"A button? Don't you mean big red flat pressy thing?" I asked.
"I most certainly do not. It is a button. I named it after my Aunt Button."
"Can I press it?"
"If you wish."
I pressed the button. The sun shot around in the sky, and the sky started to flicker in nights and in days, and the balloon began to rock and lurch and zoom around like an angry fly. I held onto the ropes as hard as I could.
Fortunately, I was still keeping a tight hold of the milk in my right hand. When we stopped being blown all across the sky, it was night, and, according to Professor Steg, we had only gone back about 1,000 years. The moon was nearly full. I am even further from my children at our breakfast, I said.
You have your milk, he said. Where there is milk, there is hope. And over there, that looks like a perfect landing platform for a time-traveling scientist in floatable person carriers.
We landed on the platform and got out. The platform stuck up in the jungle and had flaming torches on each side. There were people standing on it with very black hair and sharp stone knives. Friends, I want you to think about where might they have landed in space and time? And do you think Father will ever return home with the milk? All right, friends. I will see you next week for, fortunately, the milk.